we're going to get this started. So welcome everyone to my kitchen. My name is Kyle Rains. I'm a well-being specialist within the Twin Cities Wellness Centers, and I'm also part of the Healthier Together team. I'm really excited to be here and have this opportunity to provide a live cooking demonstration to Medtronic employees and maybe worldwide. I'm curious, where is everyone maybe watching from? So again, another little chat element if you'd like to share where you're watching from, that'd be awesome. For this month, the Greener Together initiative, I'm really excited and appreciative that I can be a part of for this month and this week's, I guess, activity with this cooking demonstration. So, so thank you to the Medtronic Women's Network, Healthier Together as well, and the Environmental Action Group for, again, inviting me to be part of the kind of the celebrations and the events throughout this month. So week 2 for the Greener Together initiative is cooking local. So the question that is on the flyer for this week is, did you cook a homemade meal, a homemade healthy meal sometime this week, or maybe multiple days throughout the week? So with this recipe, it's a great healthy recipe, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it as we move forward in the cooking process. One thing to note, just a little housekeeping item. We will be, as you can see, this is this will be a recorded session. The recording is happening, and you'll be able to revisit this after it's ready to go and uploaded to our YouTube channel. So Isaac is one of my team members. Anna is here as well. If you guys can either link or at least type in chat the Healthier Together YouTube channel, just for people to have that, that's where it will be, Healthier Together Virtual Wellness on YouTube. So yeah, be looking forward to that later on. We'll let people know through our Yammer community, Healthier Together. And I'm guessing the Medtronic Women's Network might share the post as well. If you do have questions throughout the cooking process throughout the session today, feel free to ask in chat. I'm not a professional chef by any means. I think I saw someone in chat, that you like to cook as well. That is definitely me. I enjoy cooking. I really like cooking different techniques, different ethnicities, healthy and even sometimes not so healthy as well. So, so yeah, I might not be able to answer all your questions, but I'll definitely try to maybe give my own perspective or opinion on it. And the rest of the team, like I said, Isaac is here, and Anna, Laura might be here as well. More of our Healthier Together team members. They might answer you in chat, or they might chime in vocally as well. So yes, feel free to ask questions throughout the session today. So I want to dive right into this recipe. So we have what is called a Baja Power Bowl. For those that might be cooking with me today, I hope you were able to marinate your chicken or your protein. I'm going to say protein throughout today's session, just because this is a versatile recipe. You can use chicken, you can use turkey, you can use shrimp, fish, even tofu, depending on your dietary preferences. What's even great is you don't have to use a protein with this. There's a lot of nutrients throughout the rest of the ingredients, and even more ingredients that you can add to it as well. So I'm going to have and be making chicken with this. So it's if you already pre-marinated your chicken, awesome. We'll be able to put it right into the oven right away. If not, go ahead and start fulfilling the requirements for the marinade with the ingredients, and then put it in the refrigerator and let it marinate for at least the 15 minutes like it's recommended. So I'm going to pull out, I know you can't see my refrigerator, but I'm going to pull out my marinated chicken. This is kind of what it looks like, Anna, if you don't mind pinning my secondary camera. But so chicken with the marinade, the lime juice, the orange juice. There's so much great flavors in this recipe. It's amazing. I made this before just as kind of a trial run, And even my wife was like, this is amazing. I mean, I know she loves my food no matter what, but you could really tell in her eyes, her facial expression, that she really liked how it tasted. So oven 450 degrees, marinated chicken. And I have just a small shallow pan here with tin foil just for easy cleanup. And I'm just going to lay my 2 chicken breasts in, and then get these in the oven for hopefully for just about 15 minutes. Again, when it comes to the protein that you choose, it might take a little bit longer to cook depending on the thickness of the protein, or it might be shorter. So be sure to, whichever protein that you're using, be sure to accommodate those cooking times and then make sure that it's cooked thoroughly. With this, I'm also going to take some of the marinade, the jalapenos that's in here, and just kind of get some of that into this as well. I got to scoop out some of these jalapenos just for that flavor as well. Now, what's kind of neat, and with the theme for this week, that cooking locally, part of cooking locally can be using ingredients and items maybe from your own garden. So some of these smaller jalapenos that you might see here, these are actually surprisingly, for here where I live in Minnesota, I was surprised that I had 1 jalapeno that was ready to go at this time. From a couple years past, when I've when my wife and I have grown jalapenos, we usually don't start harvesting them until maybe closer to end of July, early August. But yeah, surprisingly, I had one that was ready to go. So I grabbed that and included it into my items for today. And yes, if you didn't see in chat, give me 1 second. If you'd like to follow along with the recipe or make sure that you have it with you, I believe Anna put it in chat as a direct link, so you can have that. Maybe follow along or at least download it so it's ready for later today. So chicken in the oven now. 450 degrees. I'm going to set it to, like I said, about 15 minutes. Hit start. And then, yeah, after 15 minutes, I'm going to check it, make sure that it's cooked through. I have a kind of a smaller, thinner piece, and then a big, thicker piece. So the smaller one might cook a little bit faster than the bigger one, but we will see. All right, so while that's cooking, I want to talk a little bit more about this Baja Power Bowl. What I love about this recipe, number one, the colors, the nutrients. When we speak to healthy eating, a lot of what's recommended and some of the guidelines is utilizing a lot of color. So as if you look from my top-down view camera here, you'll see I have black beans, some corn, cherry tomatoes as well, and just a lot of variety, a lot of nutrients, and a lot of color, which can represent that higher amount of nutrients in a meal, in a dish. If you have or make meals that tend to be more bland in color, or maybe just one solid color, you might not be getting all of the nutrients that you could be within that one meal. So being sure that you mix up the ingredients, add in more color with vegetables, maybe fruits if the meal allows for it. But yes, color, nutrients, kind of, I say that loosely, they kind of go hand in hand. These power bowls have a lot of variations and variety to them. This one, as it specifically is, it's a Baja flavored power bowl, so more from like that Baja California side. So the citrus elements, a little bit of the cumin, and some of those like Mexican or Hispanic flavors as well. But it doesn't have to just be that. These power bowls can include peppers, other vegetables, maybe even some leafy greens like spinach or kale. So You have this one recipe here that you can take home with you, but it allows for a lot more. So I encourage you, after you make this dish, or maybe later on today, between now and cooking, Google search, research grain bowls, power bowls, and see what the options are and how you can make quick, easy, nutritious meals. Also, I kind of mentioned it before with the cooking local, but the opportunity to use local ingredients. So like I said, from my garden, I grabbed the one jalapeno that was ready to use with the marinade and the chicken. My cilantro wasn't quite ready yet. I had maybe like one little sprig, but cilantro from the garden, tomatoes, if you have them as well. I know, yeah, my tomatoes are just starting to kind of plump and become green. There's a lot more visible now. But yes, using ingredients, healthy ingredients out of your garden, maybe even going to a farmer's market and supporting those local farmers and the produce that they provide as well. Or even if you do want to go out, maybe you have restaurants that provide farm to table options as well. So cook local, great opportunity to be impactful within the community. And that's kind of the one of the aspects and ideas with our month celebration here for Greener Together, is kind of increasing that impact within our communities, and supporting maybe in this case, farmers markets, restaurants with those local ingredients. So let's get into the prep now. Yes, we have about 10 more minutes with the chicken. So moving into the vinaigrette first. So we have this cilantro lime vinaigrette. I'll pull out my bowl here. So we'll take 3 tablespoons of lime juice. And again, if you have questions or want some clarification, again, feel free to ask in chat, and we will gladly help and try to answer that question as best we can. But like I said, we're going to move into fulfilling the vinaigrette aspect. So starting with 3 tablespoons of lime juice. I'm not quite going to measure this out. And I do have some extra bottled lime juice that I might throw in. I might not have enough through these whole limes. And then next will be 1.5 tablespoons of honey. This is another ingredient that is an excellent option for maybe purchasing from a local beekeeper. So they might have fresh honey that you might be able to source for this this recipe, and even to use maybe in tea and other recipes as well. Let me quick wash my hands. So 1.5 tablespoons of honey. And with this, feel free to substitute for other sweeteners as well for this vinaigrette. Agave nectar might be a great substitute, but more of these like naturally occurring. So honey, agave nectar versus like your basic white like table sugar, and ends up being a little bit healthier for you, just a little bit. It's still sugar. Oops. There's about 1.5. And then the fresh garlic. Again, another ingredient that can be maybe from a garden. I don't have any fresh garlic I chose not to grow any this year, but I just have the jarred minced garlic. I'm going to throw in about, ends up being 1 garlic clove is about 1 teaspoon. And depending on how much garlic you enjoy or not, feel free to add more or less. It's about 1, 2. I'm going to do a little bit more because I know I like garlic quite a bit. So for this this vinaigrette, you can do it like I am in a bowl, or if you prefer to really blend it and emulsify that vinaigrette, feel free to do it in a blender like the recipe suggests. Moving on into the salt and pepper. About 1/4 teaspoon, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then getting into the oil for the vinaigrette. So an extra virgin olive oil, about 1/3 of a cup. And vinaigrettes are pretty, I say this, and I might, anyway, but vinaigrettes are pretty easy to make. Vinaigrettes are a oil and a acid blended together or mixed together. So typically vinaigrettes are an oil and maybe a vinegar. In this case, our acid is the lime juice. And then it's just a matter of putting in other flavors, other fragrances, maybe spices and herbs to really make what your vinaigrette can be. I've done balsamic vinaigrette variations, even into like Dijon, a mustard vinaigrette as well for different items. So again, if you have the ingredients on hand or can go get a few to round out, you can make your own homemade vinaigrettes as well. So it calls for a pinch of red pepper, and then we'll finish it off with some cracked black pepper, just a little bit more. We already put in that kind of 1/4 teaspoon. We don't need too much, just more of a texture thing as well, depending on how fine or coarse you have your pepper mill set to. And then it's just mixing these together. So like I said, it's an excellent option to just put these in a blender or a food processor to really get that emulsification, get everything married together. 4 minutes left with the chicken, roughly. We're going to get into prepping the ingredients for the bowls itself. So with the grain for this recipe, as the recipe says, it's cooked rice, maybe a brown rice, and then also a cooked quinoa. Both are excellent grains. I don't know if I mentioned this with the what I like about this recipe, but this simplicity that can be created for this power bowl. If you would like to, you can definitely cook your rice and quinoa maybe on the stove or in the microwave in its kind of 1 cup batch, or like I have here, just a quick and easy pre-packaged quinoa and brown rice blend. So like I said, quick and easy. So that way, if you only have maybe 15-20 minutes to make a meal because you have meetings or you have a kids event to go to, you can still make something quick with different elements that allow for that efficiency. So like I said, great option if you want to do just something quick, or again, cook the rice, cook the quinoa like you typically would, like I said, stovetop maybe in the microwave. So I'm gonna get this and cook it to the package requirement. – 90 seconds. Black beans, great. So I already went ahead. It was just a can, jar of black beans. Rinsed and drained the black beans as well. Again, quick and easy option. If you don't have the time, or again, just want that efficiency for just making this meal quick. Again, you can always grab the dried black beans and cook the black beans as you would a dried black bean. Let's see here. I also have corn. Again, quick and easy for the sake of the time that we have today. But again, canned corn. And this provides that little extra sweetness too into the dish. Love that. I'm going to go ahead and prepare some of our cherry tomatoes. The recipe calls for either, losing tomatoes here. Either cherry tomatoes or just a regular tomato. What I like about cherry tomatoes is just, again, that sweetness. I kind of have a sweet tooth. So I always try to incorporate that little bit of sweetness just to satisfy that potential kind of craving almost. And my quinoa is done. We'll leave that in the microwave. Chicken should be done. I'll check for doneness. Then we'll start building and putting together the bowl in a bowl. A few of those in. A couple more. Excellent. There's that. Chicken should be done. Turn that off. Check for doneness here. Ooh, wow. I can already smell some of those citrus flavors already kind of hitting my nose as I open up the oven door. So I'm going to pull this guy out. Like I said, got to check, make sure that these are done. I'm assuming with this high heat roasting, the 450 degrees, the small one should be done. But 165 degrees is what we're shooting for doneness. We got to go a little bit longer here. Yeah. Yep. We'll pop that in for just a few more minutes while we finish up prepping the rest of the ingredients. Excellent. So our tomatoes, I'm going to save the avocado for last. I'll slice that last. Looks like, yeah, just chopping the cilantro. So when it comes to your vegetables, don't forget, wash, rinse your items. Make sure they're clean and ready to go. I've already pre-washed these and wrapped them back up just for presentation. Very, very specific with how I organize things. It's a French term, That's called mise en place. That just means everything in its place. So that way you're trying to minimize how much you're walking around and navigating through your kitchen. When you have all your ingredients in front of you, it just becomes easier, again, to navigate. Everything's in front of you in the amounts that you need. So it's just, you're facilitating that cooking process perfectly. So we'll chop off about 1/4 cup, not too much here. And I wonder how many of you caught I did not add any cilantro to the vinaigrette. It is a cilantro lime vinaigrette. So we'll get this finely chopped up and added to the vinaigrette as well. And then we'll add some of that chopped cilantro as well, just for a garnish on top of the bowl. Since I chose not to use a blender, I have to take some time to finely chop this up. Whereas the blender, you can just kind of chop that, rough 1/4 cup of the cilantro and then just throw it in the blender, and the blender will do this process. Excellent. Give that another whisk. Oh, yes, good question. That is true. So one thing that I've learned just over learning from other, I guess, YouTube chefs is not everybody likes cilantro. Some people might have that soapy taste when they eat cilantro, and that's not very pleasant. So great alternative to cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, feel free to just use a flat leaf parsley. Still gives a subtle herby component to your dish. Not as rich as what cilantro can provide, but a great option if cilantro is not suitable to your taste buds. So chicken, I'm going to pull that out. We'll check the doneness. We should be about good with it. And every time, wow, just that combination of orange, the lime, the and the jalapenos. I mean, I know my jalapenos that I chose aren't like super spicy. I did make sure to keep the seeds in to help encourage that higher heat and spice aspect. But you can still, I can smell that flavor. I wish you guys could smell this too. Excellent. Yes, we are there. We are going to start building these bowls as we wrap this up. Let me clean off my cutting board and get my bowl. For me, one of my, I guess, greatest cooking inspirations is the Disney movie Ratatouille. And all those little detailed, the teaching component throughout that movie where I don't remember the lady cook chef's name, but when she's explaining some of those details when it comes to cooking. So talking about the cleanliness of your space, that's something that's a big thing for me and my personality. I love the cleanliness, a little OCD about it. But it just makes everything, for me, move and operate smoothly. So building these bowls, we're going to start with a bed of the brown rice and quinoa. And I'm going to try to recreate this just like the picture. So a nice bed of that quinoa and brown rice. Let the chicken rest just a little bit. There it is. I've got my supervisor in the background trying to get my attention. My cat, if you can't hear the meows. So yes. So as the directions say, once the grain blend is in the bowl, we'll take a little bit of our vinaigrette and drizzle it over the rice, just for a little bit of flavor. Just a little drizzle, starting to build that color that I was talking about. And then we'll start portioning out all the rest of the contents here. So starting with the beans, portion of beans. The corn. Put our cherry tomatoes in. And for me, I skipped the feta cheese. I'm not a big feta fan. So that's another option, an alternative with this recipe. You can exclude or include whatever you would like to. So now for the avocado here, I'm gonna cut the top off, cut it in half. I'm gonna start slicing. Ooh, which side do I like? I'll take the pit out. So be careful when you do this if you've never used an avocado before, but you simply just take your knife and smack the knife on top of the seed and then carefully pinch it off into a garbage, into some sort of maybe waste bag. I have a compost bag as well. So trying to reuse the produce and elements that I don't use in for the garden. So we'll slice these into strips. And lay these on top. Ooh. Oh. And neatly arrange these for presentation. You eat with your eyes, in my opinion. The cilantro, gotta make sure I have everything. And now the chicken. We'll get this sliced up as well. So far, it's turning out real nice like here. Nice little visual for, again, those colors, the different nutrients between the avocado with the fat. You got fiber and protein with the beans, a little bit of carbohydrates with the sweet corn. Again, more like good carbohydrates with and fiber with the tomatoes and the grains as well. So nice little visual there. Let's get that chicken cut as we only have almost just about a little bit of time left. So cutting this chicken into slices for easy eating. And trying to keep the jalapenos with it as well. Beautiful. Yes, chicken looks good. That's a good amount here. Slide this right on top. Fan it out just a little bit. Ooh. A couple jalapenos ran away. Let's get those back on there. And then finishing it out with some, what I chose is, and I chose just plain Greek yogurt. And I just kept it with like the single serving. Just the single serving size of the Chobani brand. I do like this. For me in general, even my wife as well, we really like more of the protein-oriented yogurt options. But yogurt is such a good one for just the digestive system. But choosing kind of lower sugar, even lower fat with higher protein options is always a good option. So yogurt. So a nice dollop of the yogurt here, right on top. And then we're going to sprinkle it with just a little more cilantro. Just a little bit, just right off the top. Give it a rough chop. Again, sprinkle. We got to finish one more here, one more element, more of that vinaigrette. So making sure all of the components here with this bowl have some of that vinaigrette to it. So my spoon. Again, drizzling as much or as little of this vinaigrette as you'd like to round out your Baja Power Bowl. Ooh. Look at this. Look at this. And there it is. I hope you can see this all right, but that is our completed recipe, the Baja Power Bowl. Again, citrus components, some of that Hispanic, Mexican components as well with that vinaigrette. Yes, like I said, it smells delicious right now too. Man, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have a bite of this. I gotta make sure that this chicken is all that I say it is. Yeah. Absolutely incredible. Awesome. Man. I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit. I make some good food. But let me clean this off. Give you guys one last little presentation of ooh, I just caught a little spice note as well. Yeah, let me clean this up just a little bit. But yes, that is the Baja Power Bowl. Again, thank you to the Medtronic Women's Network, Healthier Together, and the Environmental Action Group for allowing me and inviting me to share a healthy recipe for you guys to try out later on today. Again, this session was recorded, so once it's live, we will upload it to YouTube and let everybody know that it's ready, so that way you can revisit and follow along with me in the recording, or you can just follow along on your own. But again, thank you. Enjoy the rest of the activities. and the initiatives for the rest of this month with Greener Together. Again, trying to, for this week, the big question, did you cook a homemade healthy meal, or did you cook using maybe some local ingredients from your garden, from maybe a farmer's market, or even if you want to go out and enjoy a prepared meal from a restaurant? Did you find a place that offers like farm to table ingredients and meals? So excellent. So again, want to thank everybody. And yes, increase your impact and cook local. That is it for me. Thanks everyone for stopping by my kitchen, and enjoy the Baja Power Bowl.